What's good, girl? 413 here back in today, and today, guys, we are here for another hashtag Torben Tuesday. For those of you guys unaware of what Torben Tuesday is, the Tuesday before Playground Games does their update live stream, they go in and post an image very similar to this one right here over on their Twitter page with a bunch of clues about what we can expect in the next update. This one has been one of the hardest Torben Tuesdays that we've had so far. It has stumped just about everyone. They got very, very cryptic in this one. But I'm going to go over the clues that I think I found and what they mean and what we can expect in Series 18. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. So starting things off, let's go ahead and look at the first monitor on the far left side. What we see here is we see one of Aisha's taxis going across the field. Specifically the off-road tuned variant, which honestly, that thing is a freaking beast. Anyway though, what I think this means is I believe we're going to be getting a new Horizon business. Specifically, it is going to be that new express delivery business that has been all over the internet here ever since the last update. Why I think this is, when you are driving around Horizon, specifically in like Edinburgh, you'll actually see signs for like Aisha's taxis, and just underneath it, you'll see hiring delivery drivers. So what I think is Aisha has this experience of getting people to their point of destination, delivering people essentially. So she thought, you know what, with the holidays around the corner, I might as well start a delivery company. And we will go ahead and deliver not just people, but we'll deliver the things that they have purchased. Honestly, that's exactly what I think is going on here. We just got through the holidays, and before that, I could see someone be like, hey, I just bought something off of Amazon, why don't we turn that into a Horizon business? Like, I can see that exact conversation happening in the Playground Games, like, in their studio. Like, that would be freaking awesome. So I think it is going to be express deliveries. They've had all these clues throughout the last update, so this is most likely what is going to happen. In fact, there's another clue on here that even leads me better to believe this, and if we go over to this board right over here, you'll actually see it says like respond to Aisha in taxi. That's what I think it says. Not entirely sure. And what this could signify is that in order to do Aisha's taxis, or not Aisha's taxis, express delivery, you have to complete Aisha's taxis first, because always at the end of it, they like call you up and they say, hey, we'll give you a call if Aisha needs your assistance again, or whoever it is at the end of your Horizon business. So I feel like, you know, you've built this repertoire with Aisha. Now she's got this new business idea, so she's going to go to someone who has been successful in the past. So I think you're going to have to complete Aisha's taxis, and then you'll be able to start express deliveries. Moving on to monitor 2, we actually don't see anything really here. We see the map in the background, we see some pink highlights. There's always something sort of here, and I can never figure out what on earth it means. Honestly, I just think it's general updates. That's really kind of all I get from this, is that there's some kind of general updates. But moving on to the third monitor, we actually see some very interesting stuff. We see a picture of some police, and this actually turns out to be the Dutch police. I wasn't sure what kind of agency this was. Like, you can tell there's some kind of like important government agency. I wasn't sure if they were firefighters, if they were police. Some people on Twitter pointed out that it's specifically the Dutch police, which leads us to a clue I'll get to here in a minute. And then behind it, we see a very interesting table. Talking about this table, what we can see is 9 spots. What I believe this is these are 9 brand new cars that are going to be brought from the game and put in Eliminator. So as you progress through the Eliminator, there are 9 different cars that you'll be able to get. So that is pretty cool. We do know 3 of these. One of them is going to be the Mini Countryman, another one is going to be the Hummer Alpha H1, and then the other one is going to be the Quartz Regalia Type D. But Grr, what about the Dutch police, you might be saying? Well, I will get to that right now. So the Dutch police is kind of like a miniature version of the Dubai police. They've got some very, very interesting cars on roster. In fact, they even have a Bugatti Veyron. That is pretty freaking dope. But one car in particular that they have that is not in Forza is the Spiker C8. Now, this is a car that has been in previous Forza games. It's a Dutch brand, and it's owned by the Dutch police. So a lot of people have been thinking that, hey, this is going to be a car that is going to be coming to Forza. The only thing that I've got kind of against it is it's not part of that huge, like 120, 130, depending on who you talk to, huge car list leak that came out last month. So that is one thing that it does have going against it, because we had the Renault League and all the Renaults were on there, and then we had Renault Month. So the fact that that car is not on the list is kind of iffy. I'm not entirely sure if we are going to be seeing the Spiker C8 or not. So then we move on up to the board, and what we see on the board is we see a bunch of circles drawn around. Now, what I think is going on here is I believe that they're going to be updating the Eliminator to be a little bit more random. And honestly, I think that's a good thing, because as the Eliminator has been being played, essentially, if you got to one certain spot, like at the end of it, you pretty much knew where the ending was going to be, and if you had a fast car, you could start that race already, go outside into the zone, make it on time, and you would actually win the race, and it would give you an unfair advantage, essentially. So kind of what I hope they do is they actually move that endpoint around randomly, so you don't necessarily know where it's going to be. I really hope that is the case here, and that's why they're doing the circles. The other thing the circles could signify as well is I honestly think that the Eliminator runs kind of slowly at times, so I'm almost kind of hoping that the circles shrink just a little bit faster. That is my hope. Moving underneath the circles, we see some math. We see some math down here, and what it is we have 38,000 times 2, then underneath that we have 11,818, and underneath that we have 2.15. So I will say on Twitter they did say that this week they were getting very cryptic, so we're gonna go way out there. I was searching over on Twitter and Reddit, and this came up a couple of times, but apparently when you multiply 38,000 times 2, you add 11,818 and then add 2.15, the number that you get is here on the screen. I don't actually have it on me, but the thing is though is that with this number, it's apparently a part number for the cluster of a Peugeot 206. I don't know how somebody figured that out. That is the most random thing I can possibly think of, but somehow, somewhere, somebody owns a Peugeot 206, just got done ordering gauge cluster, did that math problem and realized it's the same. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, that is absolutely wild. If this ends up being true, I'm going to laugh my ass off, but that is a way out there solution. I do not think this is actually going to be true. Honestly, have no idea what these numbers mean, but if that is the case, that is the greatest guess of all time. Then finally move on to the to-do list. So let's go ahead and read down through this really quickly. First up, we have heavyweight upgrade perk. Then we have respond to Aisha, in parentheses, in taxi. After that, we have check Vulcan speed. Then we have decide the order. We don't really know what it is. Truly, we do know that there is the word decide, but the words after it are kind of I really don't know what's going on there. I wish they would post like a nice clear image of this. Then finally we have find 4 car hints, and then underneath that you have 4 lines for 4 cars. So I don't know what on earth half of these are, but we're gonna take our wildest guesses at them. That is what we're gonna do. So to start things up, let's go ahead and take a look at the to-do. So the first thing that you might notice is there's a capital D in do, there's a capital D in upgrade, capital D in respond, a capital D in speed, a capital D, actually 2 in decide, 1 in order, and then 1 in find. In total, that is 7 capital Ds. Now getting very cryptic here, essentially this is what a lot of people have been going with, and I'm gonna have to agree with them on this. I don't think it's actually going to be the case. I think there's something that we are completely missing here. But essentially with the 7 capital D's, the word initial has 7 letters. Alright, get with me. So you have 7D, initial D. And the other thing is with 7 is in between 8 and 6. So it's initial D 86, which is leading us to believe that it is going to be the Toyota Torino AE86. I honestly think that that is so far-fetched and out there. I have no idea if that's right, but it is probably the second most requested Toyota in the game. And with Toyota finally being back, it would not surprise me for the AE86 to be the next car to come in. I of course want my Celica GT4, but I know I gotta wait on that, but I really could see this actually happening. Not entirely sure though. So then we go into our first option here on the to-do list, and that is heavyweight upgrade perk. Don't know what exactly they're going to be going here. Maybe they're going to add some kind of perk for heavyweights, but really what I think this clue is telling us is to, hey, go to the car mastery of heavyweight vehicles and find a perk that matches all of them. So that's what I did. I found 3 heavyweight vehicles and there's one perk that matches all of them. And specifically, it's one of those ones that just gives you some bonus followers as soon as you buy it. You know, it gives you like 3,000 bonus followers when you spend your 1 skill point. And what the actual perk says though is it says your car wouldn't look out of place in a lottery winner's garage. So I think that's what the true clue is. I think the true clue is that we need to think about a lottery winner's garage. And honestly, when I think of a lottery winner's garage, I start thinking of a nice, expensive luxury vehicle, something like Rolls Royce. Now, Rolls Royce was in Horizon 3. Can't entirely remember if it was in Motorsport 7. I don't think it was in Motorsport 7. No, it entirely was. I think it was in Motorsport 7. But then when we got to Horizon 4, no Rolls Royce. So I honestly think what is going to happen here is we are going to see the return of Rolls Royce. Specifically, I'm going to guess Dawn. That is the one that I'm going to throw out there. Not entirely sure if I'm right or wrong. It could be the Wraith. Who knows what Rolls Royce it's going to be. The other thing that a lot of people have been saying, it says, okay, it's a heavyweight vehicle. Well, we got one heavyweight vehicle on the car leak list, and that is a 2004 Nissan Dakar. So that's another possibility right there. I'm kind of leaning towards the Rolls Royce myself, but you never know. You never know. Moving down, we have to respond to Aisha in Taxi. We already kind of covered this one. You know, basically, you're going to have to do Aisha's taxes first. Then you'll be able to do express delivery. You have to kind of gain that trust of Aisha. Make sure she knows you first. Then we move on down the line and we have check Vulcan speed. So this one kind of throws me off just a little bit because I honestly have no idea what on earth we're going to be looking for. Because if you Google an Aston Martin Vulcan speed, then what you end up getting is the Aston Martin Vulcan goes approximately 225 miles per hour. If you check it in Horizon 4 though, it only goes 211 miles per hour. So looking at cars that kind of match these speeds, I found trouble finding one that we don't already have that goes 211. But then at 225, we do have one car from a previous Forza game that does go 225, although some sources will say 225, other sources will say 223.9. What's the difference? I mean, it's 1.1 miles per hour, but this would be the Apollo N. Now, we had the Gumpert Apollo in previous games, and of course, Forza has now got permission from Apollo to actually have a car in the game, the IE, of course. So bringing in the Apollo N does not seem like an impossibility. If you guys don't know what the Apollo N is, it's the Gumpert Apollo. It's basically the same car. They just rebranded it when the Gumpert company essentially rebranded to Apollo. That's all you really need to know on that car, but honestly, that would be pretty dope. The other thing is, what if it's the other Aston Martin Vulcan? Specifically, the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro. This would be because, essentially, with the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro, that one was in the leak list. So some people have been going that route with this clue. I'm kind of leaning towards the Apollo N, but that wasn't on the leak list. So it's kind of up there with the Spiker C8. Like, it's a car that I really feel like fits the clue, but I don't think, since it's not on the list, I'm a little bit iffy on it. I really don't know what to think. Then finally we have decide the order. Honestly, I don't know what on earth this could be. We have decide the order and find 4 cars. I really don't know. I would like to also thank somebody over on Twitter for actually sending me like the list of what they kind of say. That is Bichetti. He actually sent me like this huge deal from the Stig Farmer over on the Forza Discord, who actually kind of broke them down a little bit. I don't know if that's actually what they say or not, but that is what I guess everybody is in kind of consensus with. So I would like to thank him for that. But I will go ahead and throw out his clues on here because he had a wild theory. He had an absolutely wild theory. Essentially, act like the D is a delete button, right? So if D stands for delete and you just delete all the D's throughout, Essentially, if you go down the list, these were the clues that he got. So for the heavyweight upgrade perk, since there's the dash in there, he believes it could be the Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pro. So we've got 2 Aston Martin Vulcan AMR Pros on here, right? If you get rid of the D on Respond to Aisha in Taxi, you get the Cobalt SS 2010, or you get the Spiker C8 20 whatever the year is. I think it's like a 2008 maybe. I'm not entirely sure. So those were his guesses there. Then we have check Vulcan speed. You get rid of the D, you get the Dodge Magnum SRT8. So basically what he did is he got rid of the D's and then he checked the list. He checked the list to try and match up all the letters. Then if you get rid of decide the order, you can get the Focus SVT 2003 or Lexus LFA 2010. So those would be pretty cool. Although the Lexus wasn't on the list, neither was the Spiker. And then of course find 4 car hints. No one really knows. So honestly, that is very interesting theory. I don't think it's right. I'm gonna be straight up honest, Viketti. I don't think that's right, my dude. But very, very good guesses. Like that is some of the most creative I have ever seen on this deal. My guesses though, whew, I don't know. We got 4 cars. We got the Spiker C8, we've got the Peugeot 206, the Rolls-Royce Dawn, and the Apollo N. Almost none of those cars are on the league list, so I really think I'm completely and utterly wrong on this guess, but it was fun trying. Like, I mean, honestly, I scrolled through Reddit, Twitter, I scrolled through the Forza Discord. I was just looking for every single possible lead on this. No one seemed to know anything at all, so I really had to stretch out quite a bit because I was like, man, I can't figure this out. Let's see if anybody else has got any like clue ideas. Maybe I can kind of work off of that just a little bit, but nope. Nobody knows anything except for the Spiker C8. That's the one that everybody seems to guess. So anyway, though, that's where I'm wrapping things up for today. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Griff13 and Instagram.com/Griff13. And if you guys like this video, go and make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.